We focus on the heart of the GLP-1 community. Real people, real stories, and the fight for affordable access. By listening, you are supporting our advocacy efforts to make these life-changing medications accessible to everyone who needs them. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. Welcome to the GLP-1 Collective.
Welcome to the GLP-1 Collective podcast. My name is Amanda Bonello, and this podcast supports a charitable nonprofit dedicated to advocating for affordable access to GLP-1 medications, normalizing their use through community-driven storytelling, and empowering individuals through support groups and educational tools. Visit glp1collective.org for more information. Today's guest is a dancer, singer, face painter, professional clown, Taekwondo black belt, and a next-level self-sacrificing mother whose love knows no bounds. Ruth Ceretto wears more hats than most can imagine, but one she never expected to fight for is that of a patient battling for affordable access to GLP-1 medications. Ruth reminds us that no matter what life throws your way, you don't have to back down, you just keep dancing. You sent the blog post in and then were willing to come on the podcast. And I am just so incredibly grateful that you did both. Most people don't do both.
Oh, no problem. I'm excited to be here.
Why did you start taking GLP-1?
I have always been very, very active ever since I was really little. I was always either into a sport or dancing or something. And I've always been the one that was the big girl. So, and I never understood it because my friends would say, "You're the one that doesn't eat very much, but yet you're and they would say it politely, but so, I knew that something wasn't right. And I would go to doctors for a very, very long time. And they would say, just diet and exercise, you'll be okay. Which was very frustrating because, well, I kind of was doing that. So finally, fast forward several years later, I got a wonderful, wonderful doctor, and she looked beyond all of that, and she's like, "You are pretty active." And she goes, by your blood work, I can tell that you're pretty, you try to be pretty healthy and try to eat pretty healthy. So she said, "Let's dig into this a little further." And she teamed up with an endocrinologist who they together figured out that I have Hashimoto's. So and so with that, they're like, well, okay, it doesn't mean that you will never be able to lose weight, but we can understand why it's harder for you to lose weight. So they tried having me see what I can do on my own because, of course, they had established a relationship with me. And in that time, I had lost about 5 pounds in a year. So I guess that's better than gaining weight, but my hormone level had changed and I gained 60 pounds very quickly. So they were like, people do not gain weight that fast. Then they said, well, why don't we try you on something that you can inject? And I was like, okay, inject, huh? And I was a little scared because, the thought of putting something in your body like that you have to put in yourself, but it was okay. She's like, you'll be okay. And so I went on what they called Saxenda. I was able to be on that for, I would give it about 2 to 3 months, I guess, maybe. And the supply went down. So then I was abruptly taken off because it wasn't available, which I kind of flipped out because on that I had lost 40 pounds, which was awesome. And I lost it. I wouldn't say quickly, but for me, it was quickly. They weren't overly concerned about it because they're like, you have good health with your food and your exercise. I'm taking Taekwondo, so I was going there 3 to 4 times a week. They gave me a pill called Contrave. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but I couldn't get that right away because the insurance wouldn't cover it. In about a 2 month period, I had getting 20 pounds, which is very scary because now that 40 pounds that I lost is now down only 20 pounds. Finally, the insurance didn't cover it the first start, but they said that through their company, they actually have their own pharmacy that they work with. So I was able to get it for like $99. And that's obviously a lot more affordable than a GLP-1. So I tried it for a little while, and then eventually the insurance did kick in. It was okay. It at least helped me from gaining weight. For me, that's okay because I love to lose weight, obviously, but the most important thing is I don't want to keep gaining weight.
Is Contrave a GLP-1?
It's a pill that you take. It's a cross between bupropion and it's naltrexone, which is actually a drug they give people who are addicted to, is it heroin or something?
It is a GLP-1.
Oh, it's considered under the GLP. Really? That's interesting
Yeah.
because it's not as effective. So,
No. And it's funny that it's interesting that you say that because when I interviewed Dr. Lindsay Ogle, she had a great way of explaining that every GLP-1 that comes out is better than the last, kind of like how you would upgrade your iPhone each year. And
right.
so Contrave was one of those first ones, and it sounds like you were also on Saxenda. And
Mhm.
I think we're going to be getting to the point where you say that you've tried a new one. Am I right?
Well, that's where we'll get to the Zepbound in a little bit. But yes, so I did the contrary for a little while. It was kind of working for me. I had lost weight that I had gained, which was great. They approved it that December, I think it was. We were all excited, but the insurance then went on a hiatus and they said that they weren't going to approve any weight loss drugs for like 6 months. So we're like, oh, come on. We waited patiently for the 6 months. I did what I could on the contrary. And then finally, thankfully, 6 months later, yes, I did get approved for a year for the Zepbound. And the insurance actually was really funny. They said that because I was losing the weight from the contrary like they expected me to, then they were happy to give it to me at the time. So then I went on the Zepbound. I was able to be on it for, I think I went on it in August, this past August. But by December, I got a letter saying they were going to cut me off for indefinitely now because they're taking all weight loss drugs away again. So I'm off again. So it's like this
Oh,
constant roller coaster. I have not gained any weight really, thankfully. I just went to the doctor the other day, and but unfortunately, we are on a stall pattern again. So we'll have to figure that out. I am back on, I'm not on Contrave per se because that's a drug that has two different medicines. She was able to take the two different medicines and prescribe them to me. It's not quite as effective because it's not the same dosage, but it's
yeah.
better than absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I
So
agree. Tell me all about what Hashimoto's is and how that affects you. This is really exciting for me because I don't think that a lot of our listeners get the chance to hear about how this medication can help with other health issues.
Hashimoto's, it's where the body attacks the thyroid. A lot of people think of it as having like hypothyroidism, but it's actually an attack on the thyroid. So your body could go from hypothyroidism to hyperthyroidism. It goes back and forth. The reason why it took me so long to get diagnosed was because my blood levels were always in normal range. But the doctor looked at the patterns. This is a great doctor.
That
She
is a
looked at
great
the
doctor.
patterns and she said, you go from low to high to low to high to low to high to low to high. She goes, and most people stay in one area. So that's the thing. Your body will fluctuate based on T3 and T4. I don't understand it all, but where your T3 and T4 are. So they have to look at all of the blood work. They can't just do what they normally do on the test. So you have to have an antibody test. So you have to have T3, T4, and then I forget there's another T4 section of it. They have to look at all of it, and then that's how they can diagnose you. If you have the antibodies, then they solidify that you have it. It causes fatigue. It can cause hair loss. Now, I look like I have a ton of hair, but when I take a shower, I guarantee you I could create a wig. I do lose a lot of hair in the shower. On the days that I have a lot of, how to explain how it is, it's not pain. I don't want to say that my body's in pain. Like a lot of Malays, you can't almost move. There are days where I have to literally force myself out of bed because my body will just hit a stall pattern. And I also have like, I get high cortisol levels a little, like, which I think is more towards another thing which I haven't been officially diagnosed, so I will not mention what that is, but they kind of correlate with each other. Some people get cold, some people they can't metabolize sugar very well, or everybody has different symptoms. Mine are definitely don't metabolize sugar very well. I get like the tired fatigue and I get some of the hair loss. A lot of people benefit with this if they avoid gluten and dairy. I have been tested, and for me, if I limit my dairy intake, that's where my body does get affected, is if I have dairy because I'm actually allergic to the proteins in milk. I don't really have a gluten sensitivity per se, but I do know that even though I can eat a little bit of pasta and rice it and I'll be okay, if I eat a lot of bread, it will bother me. So I try just if I'm going to eat those kind of things, sticking with potatoes or a little bit of rice or a little bit of pasta. I try not to eat a lot of bread because I just kind of figured out what affects my body more. I tend to push out a lot of cortisol, so keeping my stress levels low is important.
I'd barely ever even heard of Hashimoto's before I started diving into the GLP-1 community. And now I'm seeing a lot of people who have this, and I'm curious how many people are affected by it, but I'm wondering how the GLP-1 has changed that for you? Any of those symptoms
Um,
you had?
it helps with me because it takes away the food noise a lot, and I haven't always been super hungry. I used to always have to feel like I had to plan everything, and I had to worry about what I was going to eat or how I was going to eat it. It kind of gave me a really bad relationship with food. I would cross between a restriction and binge kind of phase that would not help with my stress level. This is the GLP-1 has helped me to be able to kind of not be afraid to eat a whole range of foods and just kind of have a balanced diet without being scared and still staying within a low calorie diet or normal calorie diet, however you want to look at it, and then just be able to focus on a better relationship with food so that my I know where my body is going to react in a healthy way rather than going from this binge and restrictive to binge to restrictive, which is not good for your body at all.
No, I've been there and done that. I know all about
Mhm.
that. It is not good for your body. So you were active. You were super active and in sports
Right,
all through growing up, and you were still, you're saying, the biggest of your friend group who was doing
right,
all of the same things.
right.
And I think that there is still a huge misconception about, I mean, I know there is still a huge misconception about how obesity is caused by poor diet and a lack of activity. And
Yes,
what I say to that is look at the children who are active, and it's not their fault. You can't look at a child and say that it's their fault.
right.
And I'm wondering how it affected you growing up emotionally with your friends being of a different size, and how you think that it might have affected you even now as an adult looking back on it.
Oh boy, that's a really deep question. So well, I mean, obviously, okay, maybe obviously, I did get made fun of a lot. And even though I was active and I wanted to be part of everything, I did kind of change things a lot. So I became a jack of all trades, master of none, because I didn't stay in one thing for too long. Because when I start getting made fun of, or I didn't have a lot of long-term friends from it or something, I would just start something new because then I would be able to meet new people. It really made it hard for me to have those kind of really strong emotional relationships with people and then just to be able to know how to like work through all of that. But on the other hand, it helps me with my children because when I'm with them, I just teach them to just go out there, have fun, don't worry about other people, and it just gives me the right things to be able to say to them and help encourage them. Thankfully, my children, they do not have some of the same struggles as I had in that way, but they have other things that they deal with that still need encouragement. And because of that, I was able to like help them overcome things without, so I can give them the support knowing what I've been through and kind of helping them. But how it affects me in the adult life is that on one hand, I've always loved to do things. So now that I'm older, you tend not to care anymore what people think. Like I did my first dance competition at 42. I would have never done that as a kid. I like to do those things, but I would have never put myself out there like that. As an adult, I put myself out there more, and I have a black belt in Taekwondo. Emotionally, in the social realm, it's not helped me very much, but for the determination of being able to do things that are going to make me happy for myself, then it's helped to give me a lot of strength. So
Yeah, I love that you have turned this negative experience that was, I imagine, emotionally damaging, and turn it into a positive that makes you stronger and more resilient. And I know I've spoken with Kim Carlos from the Plus Sides podcast, and she says that you will never find anyone more resilient than people who have lived with obesity, because they will try and try and try. And it doesn't matter how many times they fail, they will just keep trying. And I can see that with you, just you didn't let it stop you. You became even stronger. So you've done a dance competition at 42. That's amazing. So
yeah,
how
that was
you've
really
been
fun.
dancing since you were a kid?
I actually did it as a kid, and then I took a very long break. I took some dance in high school, like because I went to performing arts in Buffalo, and then when I was in college, I minored in theater, so we had to take a little dance there. But it was never anything that was, ever all through. And then my children went to dance when they were little. I guess I could share. My oldest has autism, so she would do things, but she always wanted me to kind of do things with her. So then guess my mom is now a dancer. So that's how I got started again as an adult. I really wound up enjoying it, and I started taking all of the classes. I did a solo, and one of the teachers just said it was okay if I did it, put it in the competition, and I said okay, and here, yeah, it was great.
I
So,
love this story. It just gets better and better. You sound like such a magical mom.
oh,
Your,
thank you.
your kids are very lucky to have such an empathetic mother that can really feel it and be there for them the way that you are. That's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
As a person using a GLP-1 now, and you said you're on Zepbound.
I
You
got
were.
taken off in January. Yeah. I wish I was, but yes. So that I got offered to take it again when I went to the doctor the other day, because she said now they have little vials you can buy that are like 5 milligrams, but it's still $500. And the only problem I am contemplating on this is that yes, it's better than taking nothing, but 5 milligrams, like when you take it for a while, it's not as effective. So do I want to spend $500 for something that's not going to work after a while? So I'm teetering on that. I don't know what I want to do. So
Yeah, 500 is a lot, especially for a person with multiple children.
hmm
It's it's a lot. Most people can't swing that every single month. That's a car payment.
and my doctor said that in some countries it's like $100 a month. So it's really ridiculous that they said it's not
Yeah.
that much to make. So
Yeah, in India, they just launched and it's only $40 there. It's between 40 and
wow,
$50 there. Yeah,
wow, that's incredible.
it's awful. The lack of access that people have. It's not just pricing either. It's insurance coverage, it's pharmacy benefit managers, it's manufacturer pricing. Everywhere you look, there is a roadblock to our access.
Right.
Uh,
So
um,
yeah.
have you personally had to deal with any stigma? It sounds like you have a fantastic doctor, and I am so happy for you. I wish we all had doctors like that. That's amazing.
She's
Um,
incredible.
have you had to deal with any kind of stigma from anyone in your life, family or friends, coworkers?
There have been just, I wouldn't say stigma per se, but you have some people who are really scared of it. So they'll, warn me that I could have some health issues down the line. One person said that wasn't in my family or anything. They weren't even really, I don't know if they consider them a friend, probably just more of an acquaintance. They said that's for people with diabetes, but that's the worst that I've had from that. Other people have been really supportive, and then people have even offered to give the shot for me. So they know how much I put into things. So I don't think that I've had that kind of negative experience overall. So
When you said that your acquaintance said that it's for people with diabetes, can I ask what like year that was?
that was when I was back on Saxenda, so that had to have been about 2 years ago.
That is the right time frame for when this medication was released specifically for weight loss. And the world went crazy saying that it was only for diabetics and it was going into shortage because of people trying to lose weight. And I was just curious if it was still happening because from what I've seen, the world has calmed down over the fact that diabetics can use this medication and so can people for weight loss.
Right. Yeah, I still see it a little bit because I had belonged to some of the Facebook groups that they have, and I still see it a little bit, but it's definitely like you're right. They don't say it as much, but I mean a good comeback to that is, like a lot of people, sure, it could be for people with for diabetes, but you want to prevent that. And what a good way to prevent that if you can, and so that we don't have to be sick. And that's what I tell the insurance company when I talk to them and yell at them every single time that I talk to them is that you get mad that you have to pay for this, but imagine the money that you're going to save when you don't have to pay for sickness anymore. But they don't seem to care. But I still try.
I'll never understand the not wanting to prevent a fatal comorbidity. I mean, diabetes is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. You would think that they would want to prevent that from happening instead of waiting until you actually have it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You do know what I mean.
I do. I'm at risk for diabetes, obviously, because of, the things that I have. And that scares the heck out of me. I really don't want to get there. So whatever I got to do to try to help that, I will. The one thing I think out of all of this that I've been frustrated with is when you do put the work in for so long and you don't get the results is just that not giving up part,
Yeah.
because when they diet, I use the words diet like that now because I refuse to actually diet, but people will do it for so long because they're going on a trip, or they're doing it for a reason to, short term. But if it doesn't work out, then, people give up. And I understand because it's hard. It's very, very hard. But if you can find something that is going to work for you, as far as like something you enjoy to do every day, or something that is going to fit into what you can do, it's not as hard.
Yep.
um and so I'm just, the biggest thing for me is just not giving up, even if it's not like giving me the total results that I want. And I'm so happy that I've just focused on, like, I'm worth it, and it's okay. That's just been the hardest part, is just not giving up.
Well,
Yeah.
it sounds like you are an incredibly strong person who has been not giving up their whole life and just pushing through and trying harder. Do you think that you had Hashimoto's as a child? Is that's
Um,
not something you're born with, right? That's something that comes later
no,
in life?
I think that's your body, like, after it's been through a lot of things. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think that you're born with it. I can't say for sure that I had it as a child, but I have struggled my whole life, so that's a very big possibility. The endocrinologist, when I got diagnosed, was said that I conceivably had it at least 15 years, because they said that the average person
Wow.
takes about 15 years to get diagnosed. And she said that based on my history and what they were writing in my history, it sounds like I actually had it all that time. It's just they got ignored. And oh, and I never did mention either that I do have thyroid cysts. You don't have to have thyroid cysts to have it, but that is also something that you could have when you have other thyroid issues. So I do have several thyroid cysts as well.
Have you been tested for PCOS? Does that fall into the range for PCOS?
I have not been exactly tested that I know of. I do have symptoms of it, which is why I didn't want to mention that. So,
Oh,
because I
that's what
wasn't
you were
diagnosed.
talking about.
Yeah, because I have I get the facial hair, and I get all the other symptoms of it, but my doctor said that she cannot say that I have it. I have to get it diagnosed from somebody else.
It's extremely common and
Hmm.
extremely underdiagnosed.
Right,
So when you say cyst, that was a red flag for me right away. Does
right.
that cause you any discomfort?
Not on my thyroid. I used to have the ovarian cyst, and I wound up having a big surgery at one point, because they were watching like a 3 millimeter cyst, and they stopped watching it because it wasn't growing. I got really, really sick. I thought I was just stressed. I'm a supervisor, and one of my workers was out, so I came in every morning trying to do her work so that my other workers didn't have to do it. So I was like,
Oh.
I'm just stressed. My husband's like, you look really, really like off, and I was like, no, 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 I'm good. I'm good. I'm just stressed. And then one day I woke up and I'm like, I don't feel so good. And he goes, I think you better stay home. So then we went to the doctor, and I actually wound up having to stay home. And what happened was is that a cyst had grown over the cyst, and then I had
My
another cyst.
gosh.
So they took out a cyst that was like almost the size of a baby. So I knew I was like bloated, but I thought it was from stress. So yeah, that was a big oops on my part. But so
Wow. Well, I mean,
yeah,
how do you catch these things, right?
I mean, I think I should have probably been a little less strong at that point. And I was very, very sick at that point. But yeah, I have dealt with variances and dealt with like irregular, periods and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, all of that stuff.
Oh, I'm so
So
sorry. Ugh.
that's okay. No, it's life, right? I mean, it's okay.
With Hashimoto's, do you deal with a lot of inflammation?
I get exercise induced inflammation. Like even when I was doing Taekwondo, I had to make sure that I was like warming up very as well as I can, stretching when I was done. And I had to totally know my limits, because if we had like a really hard day, like it would take me 3 days or 4 days to recover, even though I would still do have to do stuff. Because when you're in Taekwondo, you have to do it like several days a week. You can't just do it once a week or whatever. I just have to like seriously watch my sugar intake. That seems to help keep the inflammation down. It's very highly correlated for me. So, and then I also will do things that will help to de-stress my body. And I also take a lot of turmeric supplements to try to keep some of that
Mm.
inflammation down. So
Yeah, turmeric's great.
yeah, I used to kind of like eat it, but that's like a little harsh. So
It tastes terrible,
supplements
but
are
it's
better
so
for
good
me.
for you.
So,
I try to drink turmeric tea. I was listening to Dr. Michael Greger on YouTube, and he was talking about how if you drink turmeric tea, it's like the equivalent of doing 30 minutes of exercise for your blood, that it
wow,
helps circulate, makes your blood move around faster. I don't know. I've don't quote me on this. I'm not a doctor.
that's okay.
I'll
I
have to
said a lot
look
of
this
things, and I'm
fact
not a
up
doctor
later.
either today. Yeah. So, no, but I mean, the turmeric seems to help for me and ginger and all that stuff. Those things do help. And then collagen seems to have been helping me lately. So,
I live on my collagen. I live
yeah,
off of it. My nails are so strong now.
right. Yeah, that's still not working for me, but I have like a lot of hair. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
So,
do. You were on Saxenda, then you got on Contrave, then you got on Zepbound. Then
right.
when your insurance no longer covered it, you're back on Contrave. And
Yes.
you did have initial issues getting coverage for Contrave, correct?
I did, and I still am not having to worry about it because she did that kind of separate dose kind of thing, because they won't cover it anymore anyways, unless I do the $99 thing for the through their own um pharmacy. So yeah, she's so we decided to kind of just go with the separate dosage. And it's okay. It's not working as effectively as it did the first time, but like I said, I haven't gained any weight from not being on Zepbound anymore, so that's incredible. So
Yeah.
I will take that, and I just have to figure out how that's going to work for me because I still would like to lose 20 more pounds as far as like to where I get to maintenance, but that's the closest I've been in my adult life, so I will take that because I'm like down now 80 pounds total from where I was like my highest weight. It's been a roller coaster, but like from the highest weight, I probably kept it off about 3 years now from the highest. So I'll take that. It's okay. It's great. All my life, it's been up 30, down 60, up 30, down 60, up 40. It's like a big old roller coaster. That's a lot of stress on your body. And the fact that I'm as healthy as I am, I praise God every day because I could have a lot of problems because of that. And I don't right now. So I do chalk that up to being blessed. And also, the fact that I have been so active. I was just at the gym and my friend and I, we were doing our thing and I had a goal for the leg presses and I was like, well, just do my body weight. And then for fun, I was like, all right, I'll put it up a little bit more. And then by the time we got done putting it up, I was pushing 350 and I was like, what? I was like, I shocked myself. So and my friend's like, you inspire me. And to hear that from somebody that I actually inspired somebody else,
Aw.
that was awesome because I don't always have the best self-esteem. So, that was nice to hear. I'm glad that I can do that for somebody because I want the best for people too. So, yeah.
Well, I want to say I feel truly inspired. Your first dance competition at 42 because you wanted to support your daughter. That's
Mm-hmm.
inspiring. A black belt
You.
in, you said Taekwondo?
Mm-hmm. That I got at 50 years old, or well, 49, 50, somewhere in there. Yeah. So I became a lot of things because of them. Because when my daughter was 7, she wanted to be a professional clown. So guess who's a professional clown as well? Like do it all.
Wow. Oh my gosh. You are so inspiring.
So then
Amazing.
whatever she did, that I did it too. So yeah, I learned a lot of things as an adult that I never thought I'd do, but it's all fun, makes life great. So
So you have two children, right?
yes.
Can I ask what your pregnancy was like? I'm assuming that you were untreated at the time with Hashimoto's.
Yes, I was untreated. I actually was put on not I wasn't put on bed rest the first time. But I wound up with an emergency C-section. I had high blood pressure for the pregnancy, but I don't normally have high blood pressure. And then the second one, I had the high blood pressure and I got put on bed rest. So they said that if they didn't put me on bed rest, I would have had the preeclampsia. She was trying to put it in the non-medical way. It's almost like being allergic to pregnancies. So she said that I would have that every time that I'm like pregnant, as I would have that kind of problems. Thankfully, I never had the proteins in my urine and stuff. So
Yeah.
I didn't have to have the baby taken out of me or anything like that. I just had to be highly watched. I had a C-section. My second baby, she wouldn't even give me that option to have it the other way. So I lost weight both times. It's interestingly enough. The first time I lost 18 pounds, and the second time I lost 36 pounds. I never gained weight in my either pregnancy. So
Wow. That is
yeah,
so interesting.
yeah. She said
Okay.
as long as the baby's growing, it was okay.
They were just eating
So
all the calories for you.
yeah, I was like, okay, well, that's the one part of pregnancy I think I like.
Okay, I have kind of a deep question for you.
Okay.
Someone very close to me reached out and they said in a very caring way, I don't understand obesity. And
Okay.
I want to understand because I want to support you in your advocacy efforts. But right now, I just don't get it. I see people who eat whatever they want, fast food several times a day, don't exercise, gain weight. And I see people who are predisposed to having a heavy set body and they can be fit and choose not to. I think that this is a very common misconception. I want to ask you what your thoughts are on this stigma against people with obesity and assuming that it is all food and activity based.
Okay, well, I've had gotten several arguments on Facebook over this, so um, I have a little bit of a balance on it because I think that it's not that people I don't always think people choose to be this way. Sometimes I do feel that people end up somewhat, and I'm going to use this in quotations, but accepting it sometimes because they don't feel that there's any other way. But I don't really feel that they truthfully accept it, okay? But it's just they don't know like the a way to like help themselves sometimes, and they may have tried everything or they just don't have the support and they too have had no results. It's frustrating. Like it's hard not to give up. Or there are people that completely do everything that I'm doing like every single day and don't get results. I think that that stigma has really got to go away because people don't choose to be ridiculed every day. I don't think people make that choice to get out of bed and not be able to, have fun with their family. I don't think people want to make that choice every day to be so isolated. Nobody would choose that for themselves. I don't like that stigma at all. There's varying degrees of like where people are at in their journey. There are times people sure, they probably have given up a little bit, but I don't think that people can't be brought back if they had the right support. But there are many, many people out there that are heavier set that do exercise or do try to eat right, but they don't may not know that they have a diagnosis. They may be eating right, but you still can eat the best foods, but still be eating like more calories than you should. Or, there's still like certain ways your body reacts to certain things. So it's just you have to find what's going to work for you and how it's going to be good for your journey and your lifestyle. Okay, you just got me on a soapbox. So yeah, I would love to talk to your friend and give him a little piece of my mind in a nice way, but yeah, it's not okay.
Oh, that was the cutest response at the end there. Yeah,
Sorry.
100%. No, I am so grateful for your candid response. It's absolutely true. You have no idea what's going on in other people's lives. And my response is it's a long one, so I'm going to put it in a blog post.
There you go.
But essentially, every person's health journey is a maze. Some people have a straight road. They just go straight to the exit. They're free. They have the easiest life. They just coast. And most of us have a maze where you can't see inside someone else's maze. There could be any sort of roadblock like Hashimoto's, PCOS. And those walls make it even harder to get to that finish line, right? And some people, they don't even get out of this maze. Some people get stuck forever. Some people die there.
Right.
And it's incredibly harsh to just assume that everyone has the same experience with this straight road because people don't typically go around saying, I have Hashimoto's. My name is Ruth. It's nice to meet you. You know what I mean? You don't lay all your cards out on the table when people meet you. So they have no idea what you're going through, what you've done, how far you've made it through this maze when the walls have shifted and just when you thought you were getting to the finish line
Right.
and you've got to turn back. I hope that people can understand that metaphor because I think it's very difficult. And when we say it's a multifaceted disease that could be caused by multiple issues throughout a person's lifespan, including epigenetics, like I don't think that people really can connect with that.
Hmm.
Hopefully, listening to this podcast and people sharing their stories like you, saying what you just did, will help those who really don't understand it understand. this person was not coming from a place of judgment. They were genuinely just curious. And I think it's really hard when you're emotionally invested and you're hurt to try to explain it in a calm way and not give them a piece of your mind.
Sorry about
So,
that.
oh no, that's hilarious. I love your sass. No, no, you're fine. I think most people are just unfortunately, when you see them on Facebook or social media, like you said, the people who are outspoken like that, I don't think that they're being non-judgmental and just curious. I think they're just being hurtful on purpose.
Yeah, I
That's a
call
big
them keyboard
difference.
warriors. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's very vulnerable for people, when they share their stories online and when they, like me, even me sharing my story, I'm sure that, if people like listen to this podcast and they have the comments, I'm sure the comments, they're not always going to be the nicest ones, but that's a deflection on whatever they're going through, whatever they're thinking, and so be it. But the fact that you can hurt people online, I don't think people really would do that in public to that degree. So there's a lot of pain that they must be going through in life because you wouldn't be able to do that if you weren't having some kind of pain in your own. At least I would hope not. So I hope that the people who are vulnerable and put themselves out there keep sharing their stories because it does help other people. And the people that have negative comments, I pray for them because they, something in their life is just not right. So
A lot of the stigma that I've seen outright on the social feeds has been from, it seems like people who have been through the ringer themselves. And maybe right now they're on a downhill coast where they've lost some weight and they're thinking they've got it all figured out, maybe for the seventh time. It's easy to be on a high horse when you think you've got it all figured out. But I've actually said before, this community is extremely supportive and welcoming. And whatever you're experiencing now, I have a feeling that we'll be seeing you in the future and we will welcome you with open arms then.
there you go. Thank you. So,
I can't thank you enough for sharing your story because you're absolutely right. We have to be loud, we have to make noise. People need to hear it to understand it. And allowing ourselves to be vulnerable is what makes the difference.
well, I appreciate that you gave me this opportunity. It's not something that I would have, just picked on my own to do. So thank you for getting me out of my comfort zone to do this. So I appreciate that.
I'm surprised that I'm getting you out of your comfort zone when you're out there doing dance competitions and getting black belts and
I'm
I
a
don't
complicated
becoming a
person.
clown, a literal clown.
Yes, yes, I'm a professional face painter in my area, and I do very, very well. And that's something that I don't people don't have to know the real me for, so it's easy for me to do. But yeah, but when it comes to me sharing things or just putting myself out there like that, that's not an easy thing for me to do. So yeah, so I
Love
appreciate
that.
you just testing me like that. So it's great.
Are you
Yes,
on
sir.
TikTok?
I am on I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram and I
Okay.
am, let's see here. I don't do TikToks. I don't know why. I should get into it, but I have
You're
not.
okay.
So,
You're okay. A lot of people don't. And I'm
yeah.
just wondering, do you want us to tell people to go find you? Do you want us to put your social feed names up there or no?
If you wanted to, like you could put my Facebook name is Jazzy Sparkle. So yeah.
Cute.
So you
Was this
can
dance
sure.
competition, was it jazz?
I actually did a lyrical number called Try from
Uh,
Kobe Calais. So yeah, and it was through Starbound. So it's a national dance competition. They came to Niagara Falls and I won a judges award and also I got a gold. It's because I got 300 or higher. So like on my points and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good for somebody who's never done one before. They gave me a judges award for putting myself out there and just kind of giving everything I had and not everybody gets those, so I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah.
Super cool. Did you say you did a lyrical number? Did you sing too?
No, it was pure dance, but the difference between lyrical and contemporary is basically the moves kind of fit the song, and contemporary kind of it's like more fluid movements that it's more of the emotion and the way you feel of the song. That's kind of the difference, but they're both based out of a ballet.
If you don't have a TikTok, because that's where we're most active right now.
I just don't put on TikTok, so I do
Oh, no,
have a
no.
TikTok.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. Because I was
yeah,
going to say, how did you find out about the podcast?
I think I found out through Facebook. I think, or maybe TikTok. I do look at TikTok sometimes. I just don't put anything on there. So I honestly don't know.
Interesting.
I think we're just meant to be together. I don't know. So
I think you're right. Yeah, we're on Facebook, but we only just started, so we like don't even have any followers. I think I've made 2 posts.
unless I was just looking up stuff or something, I don't know. And then you just kind of popped up, but it was like an invite to write something, and I did it, and I had no idea you were
Cute.
like seriously looking at stuff. So I was like, oh shoot, that's great. But
So, if you could give one message to anyone listening who doesn't know what Hashimoto's is, doesn't understand obesity, doesn't think that GLP-1s are safe, what would your one message be to those people?
there's no shame in getting any kind of help or tools you need to get where you need to be, because the more support you have, the longer the lasting the results are going to be to get to your goals and to feel better about yourself and to be healthier. And we, we don't go through having an actual physical illness without support. So, di um, having obesity is no different. Having obesity, it is a medical condition. It should be treated as such. We need to accept the fact that sometimes we need a little bit of help to help us go a long way.
You wouldn't expect someone with diabetes to not take medication, considering the fact that obesity is often caused by insulin resistance, which
Hmm.
leads to diabetes later on.
Right,
You would not expect people to not take medication.
exactly.
So
So.
hopefully that message helps us stop the stigma and makes healthcare take obesity more seriously as the disease that it is.
Nobody chooses to be ridiculed, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it sounds
Good.
like you've done everything you can your whole life.
Hmm.
So for
So,
anyone who looks down on people for diet and exercise, saying that that's the cause, you're like living proof that that is not true.
right. Yep. Yeah. As a matter of fact, oh, I forgot to say this part too. Sorry. So the insurance company's idea of like taking me off of the GLP-1 is that they said that they started paying for Weight Watchers. So let me tell you the kicker on this. They have a 0 point system. I'm not putting Weight Watchers down. Please do not think that I am. But all of their 0 point foods are foods I eat every day. So I don't even get to the points during the day that you're supposed to eat, because all of my foods that I normally would eat are all 0 point foods. So it's very hard for me to follow, because like I don't eat the foods that you would be able to count as points. And I don't know how to do it because of that. Like chicken, eggs, low fat beef, fat free cottage cheese, fat free Greek yogurt, air popped popcorn, they're all 0 point foods. So like, and vegetables and fruit. Like most people who eat like, on a lower like calorie diet or whatever, those are your staple foods anyways. Oh, and plain oatmeal, sorry. So it's very hard for me to like get off of that, because that's what I normally would eat anyway in a day. So yeah, that's not going to work for me, because even though they're 0 points, they still have calories. So you don't count calories in Weight Watchers, you count points. So I don't know like how that's going to work for me, but okay. Yeah.
Wow, again, what a testament to the fact that diet is not all it is chalked up to be.
Yeah. It's what's been working well best for me is like intuitive eating and just whatever your body needs at the moment. That's been like makes me the happiest, because your body craves certain nutrients at certain times. So
There
you
are
got.
times when I'm just craving celery.
Hmm.
Now that I'm on a GLP-1, I will like celery is probably the thing I crave the most. And it's just when I'm dehydrated, I've noticed.
Yep.
It's
And it's
like
got
my
a lot of
body's
water in
saying
it.
we need water. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you look wonderful. So I just
Oh, you're
wanted to
so
tell you
sweet.
that. There you go. So
Thanks. You do too. I was like, wow, she's so beautiful.
well, thank you very much. I'm getting used to like the way I mean, I'm getting used to it, because I've always had like a really like chubby face and all that stuff, and like so I have a neck now, and I'm like, whoa. So I'm still getting used to it. And I took a my daughter she plays flag football, and she got to play at the Buffalo Bills stadium today, because the Bills were hosting a girls flag football scrimmage thing, and someone took a picture of me, and I was like, "Is that me?" Like, I still don't see it. It's amazing. Like, oh, so yeah, you just have to get used to it, I guess. But I mean, hey, it's great fitting better in clothes, but it's not. It's more about just when you can do things easier. Like, it's nice. I want to be able to live for my kids and stuff. It's nice being able to like still be so active with my kids because I had kids later. I didn't have them when I was in my 20s, but they're in high school now, so they're all over the place. And just to be able to keep up with them is awesome, you know?
Uh,
So, but if I
um,
was going on a path that it was happening to me, I don't think that I honestly would have been there, and that's scary to me. So,
yeah, this medication can be actually life-saving for a lot of people. I've got to know about the food noise. So
yes.
Saxenda muted that for you first, right?
Yes. It was like freeing. I was like, you would be doing other things, and then like it would be hours later, and you're like, wait a minute. Like it would finally hit you hours later, but I would like I used to like plan like, okay, what am I going to do for lunch, or when am I going to have lunch, or it's not that I was hungry, that some people have hunger, but or I would actually really get hungry because I never felt that before either, because it was like I never gave myself a chance to feel hungry. So that was like weird. It became a more normal thing, and I was able to like play with my hunger cues better, and like it just made me feel like a normal human being.
I always heard about intuitive eating, and I thought, what a nice concept. I wish that I could do that.
Right,
But no, you can't. When your hormones are all off and they're telling your brain something else, then
right,
it just doesn't work. But
right,
now that I'm using a GLP-1, I feel like I can actually understand what that means for the first time and why
right,
people even talk about it. It's like, oh,
right.
this is a thing that people can do.
Exactly. And the GLP-1s, they also take away like the stress eating kind of thing too, sugar cravings and all that stuff. So you're naturally eating more balanced meals. So you don't have those drops in insulin, you don't have those cravings, you don't have all that stuff. So your body it just reacts so much better and more efficient than when you're trying to do this on your own, especially when those hormones play and your hormones have a chance to catch up to itself. Because when my hormones are off, that's when I would get more into like, I need a quick carbohydrate fix. And I'm not, okay, I don't think carbohydrates are enemies by any means.
I
We need them.
agree.
They're our brain food. But, I don't need to be eating sugar all the time. You know what I mean? So, but when
Mhm.
you're in that constant stress mode, whoa, like that, like no amount of protein is going to help that. So,
Yeah.
just being able to keep those levels in a place of like substantiation or evenness, and that is what I felt the GLP helped, is that it kept everything at an even level for me.
And do you feel like Contrave is doing the same thing for the food noise?
I think that it does help with the food noise. It just is not. I don't know. I think Zepbound had like two medicines in it, so I think the Zepbound helped
Yeah.
more with like just the keeping away from stuff more, where the Contrave just helps with the food noise. So I think that's where there was like an extra kick with it. But I think, so for some people, Contrave could work very well for them. I don't think it's a bad medicine at all. I certainly would rather be on it than nothing at all. For a little while, I liked it better than Saxenda because when I was on Saxenda, I couldn't take 3 bites of food and I was like, I couldn't eat anymore. And that was kind of like, I was like, this isn't living. That part's a better deal, I guess. But I like the fact on the GLP-1s that you actually lose more.
For Zepbound, it doesn't just make you feel full longer, but it also regulates your blood sugar.
Yeah,
And for a lot of people, that is necessary,
right,
especially for people, I think for people with insulin resistance,
right.
helping
Yeah,
regulate that blood sugar really makes the difference.
yeah, because I don't have diabetes, but I said I'm at risk for it. So I think I have that insulin resistant part.
So do you feel like you have a pretty good support system then? It sounds like your doctor's great.
My doctor's amazing. It's very, as far as my family goes, I would say yeah, yes on one hand, because nobody like tries to deter me. It's just they don't always understand everything. But I have a very complex household because I have two people with ARFID. I don't know if you've ever heard of ARFID. Um,
But
it's it's a avoidant food restrictive intake disorders. Two of the people in my household have like a food, like maybe where they'll eat like 5 things at one time, like at any given time. So their meals are very, very limited, and it's very hard to shop for them and everything else like that. For me to make a meal for everybody in the house is non-existent. I'm cooking 5 different meals every single night because I have to make an extra meal just in case like something that my daughter liked one day she doesn't like it anymore or something. And it's more than picky eating because it's a neurological disorder, so it's not something that I'm just going to snap out of her with. So I deal with that. And then I have another, the one with autism. She is a very healthy eater, so she is like, she could write a book on like nutritional eating. She doesn't eat extra oils. She'll only eat like certain she'll only eat avocado oil, and it's got to be very, very little. She won't eat sugar. She won't eat this. She won't eat that. So like everybody's got their own thing that they're dealing with. I could eat very healthy, but people don't always understand what I'm doing. It's interesting.
Wow.
So,
Oh my gosh, you are so self-sacrificing. You really
so
are an inspiration.
oh, thank
I
you.
I think maybe one of the most generous in life people that I have had on this podcast, just so giving to your family. All of the love is very obvious.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you made me blush. Okay. So, so
I'm just really glad you came on the podcast. I'm so happy to hear your story, and I'm so glad that you found us. I don't know how you did. I'm very curious, but I'm really glad you did. And thank you for the blog post.
oh, no problem. I love the way you edit it. I was like, wow, that sounds so professional. But yeah, so thank you.
It was all you.
Uh,
You wrote that.
yeah, but I think that was a little edited too. But yeah, so thank you.
Okay, I have
Okay.
to ask, you have a fantastic microphone. I must know why.
Um, I well, okay. So I've recently decided I wanted to take up singing again. I started to take lessons again, and you have to record yourself, and yeah, here I am.
You really are a jack of all trades. Oh my gosh. This woman does everything. Don't get in her way.
So yeah, I'm gonna be retiring in 5 years, and I have no idea what I want to do because sitting at home doing nothing is not an option.
Mhm.
But I refuse to do anything that I was doing or anything similar or retail or yeah, anything that I've done like as far as jobs in the past. I just want to do something that I'm gonna enjoy and love, and because they say if you do something you enjoy, you never work a day in your life. Like the things that I've always enjoyed, I kind of want to just brush up on and make sure I got it going on so that I can if I can make a few dollars after, that's great. If not, it's okay. At least I'm having fun. So
Yeah. All right. Well, stay in contact with me. I'm really
okay.
curious to see how that goes. And if you do any more dance competitions, I would love to watch. And
Okay.
if you're singing, send it to me. I would love to hear it.
Okay. Yeah, I will be going back to dance in September. So I'm
Awesome.
excited about that. I'm trying to get my friend to go, but she's very scared. And I'm like, "Don't be scared. It's all fun. It's okay. You start somewhere. But we'll see. We'll see if we can get her to go. But, so I'm excited.
Well, we can always do a follow-up blog post too if you want
Okay.
to post your
Anytime you want to
video
invite
or
me,
awesome. Well, thank
I'll
you
be a
so
regular
much,
for you.
Ruth. I'll see you next
All
time.
right. You have a good night. It was wonderful
Thank
talking
you,
to you.
Ruth. You
All right.
too.
Bye.
Bye.